carnivorous. Where is that specific verse? I am asking you the specific verse. That is heresy, because you are teaching things which are not founded in the Bible, nor even founded in science.
Okay,
now, you are
Grady,
saying that my teaching is heresy because I believe
before
for thousands of years.
Brother Eli, before we lose the thread there's a couple of points there that I'd like Dr. Grady to come on. What about being carnivorous before before the flood?
Well, first of all, again, Howard, as you correctly pointed out concerning Brother Eli's teaching, the Bible is quite specific. God started with everything perfect, and the lion did lay down with the lamb, and the child with the wolf and snake and so forth. And we are told in the book of Revelation that this is going to be a return to a state of perfection as it was in the Garden of Eden. Now, therefore, animals were not carnivorous. And the Bible clearly states, if you start reading in Genesis chapter 1 and on, that in fact God gave the green plant, said it should be as, like, similar to meat to your body. The same was true of the land animals, dinosaurs, lions. And the fact of the matter is, as I mentioned before, at least 2 lions that I have stories on and pictures of were raised as vegetarians. I'd also suggest you take a look at what did they do with the big cats at the London Zoo during World War II, because they didn't have meat for them. That was for the soldiers. Now, again, Brother Eli's position, I don't attack him personally, I attack his theology. It is heresy because, among other things, he's misquoting Scripture from the original languages where it says that if you eat of the fruit of that tree, surely you'll die. But it says, actually, dying thou shalt die, that if you eat from that, you will die spiritually now, and that will lead to your physical death 900 years from now. And that's exactly what happened. And so there is no death before human sin in a physical state. His teachings, whether he realizes it or not, and I don't know that he does, frankly, mimics those teachings of Hugh Ross, Dake, Schofield, Pember, Chalmers, and other various theistic evolutionists. And I did not call him an atheist. I did not call him an evolutionist. I said specifically that he was a theistic evolutionist, that he assumes that evolutionists are telling the truth about time, and he has inserted that into the Scriptures, and then he quotes Scriptures to supposedly support that position. But this is not the way we're supposed to do exegesis.
Can I also say that what comes to mind with regards to what Brother Eli said, that God does not change, that is true, but in the sense that God gave an instruction after the flood for man to be able to eat flesh, to eat the flesh as food, because all vegetation had been destroyed. But this was the first time he gave direction for man to change from being a vegetarian to one who eats meat. Now, that is a change, but it's recorded there for specific reasons, as it could have applied, although it isn't specifically mentioned in the Scripture, that to the animal kingdom. But that's just one example of how God had to make another provision for us, and just wanted to state that. So,
Howard,
yes.
Howard, remember that God also put the instinctive fear of man into the animals. Why? To protect the animals from man, not to protect man from the animals. And so we see that God does change the rules after the flood in terms of that particular issue.
Now, can I just say that I've got an email here from let me just read it to you, it'll be easier. First, apologies for any poor spelling, it's not my forte. I am someone who does not believe there is a God. I have thought a lot about it, and I've read a lot. Listened to the arguments from both atheist and creationist perspectives. I honestly believe you will have to accept sooner or later the undeniable facts that the earth is billions of years old. We are evolved from apes, and you really have not got any evidence that stands up to scrutiny, that the Bible is the reliable word from a magical being called God. Don't get me wrong, I'm reading the Bible at the moment. It's a fantastic piece of literature. It contains some good advice regarding living a good and wholesome life. It also contains some very bad advice. You guys only ever pick out the scriptures that support your idea of God and Jesus and Christianity. I really like you and most of your team, and I'd like to contact you some more. And yours sincerely, Howard M. from Doncaster. Thank you for that, Howard, by the way. See, we have got viewers that, are listening to our arguments and they're not necessarily convinced. What's your take on that, Brother Eli?
First, before I give my idea about that, is that I just want to read 11:6 of the book of Isaiah, which was misinterpreted by both of you. Let us read that. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. This is a prophecy.
Yes.
A prophecy to happen in the future.
See.
Meaning that before this comes to reality, really these animals are carnivorous. This is not a hint that these animals are not carnivorous.
The question is, Brother Eli, is when they became carnivores.
If I may continue, Brother Howard, these are prophecies that will happen in the future. Now, if they are carnivores, if they are vegetarian before this prophecy was written, the book should have said that they will be just like before, that they will be not eating flesh anymore. Now, the fact that these animals are carnivores now means that they are carnivores from this time of the creation.
But man wasn't.
They are. What verse in the Bible will point to us that once lions are vegetarian? You said that they are vegetarian before the flood, and after the flood they became carnivores because there are no things to eat but other than flesh. But if we are going to look at the biblical history, Cain is a farmer, and Abel is a keeper of the flock. Will Abel keep the flock without eating anything of the flock? Is he not going to eat the milk?
Well, okay, right. On that very subject right there, Brother Eli, yes, it's very clear in the scriptures that man was given a directive after the flood to eat flesh for the first time.
I'm speaking of Abel, Brother Howard.
Well, that was before the flood.
Abel. And Abel is very, very much ahead before the flood.
Exactly. So he wouldn't have been eating flesh.
He would not be. It is nonsense for Abel to be taking care of a flock or a herd without benefiting anything from it if he is totally vegetarian.
So are you saying that the scriptures, Brother Eli...
Abel lived before the flood.
But Brother Eli, okay, you can have that thought, and it might seem very logical to you, but what you're saying is the account of Genesis 6 and after the flood is that God gave that directive not to eat of the... but to eat the flesh now is not true. Are you saying that the scripture is wrong?
I'm not saying that the scripture is wrong. In fact, even to Adam and Eve, God gave animals to be eaten. Even to Adam and Eve.
Okay, Dr. Grady, come in here, please.
Howard, please.
Dr. Grady.
Again, Brother Eli claims great wisdom about the Bible. I know he has an encyclopedic knowledge of the scriptures, but so do many people who are not saved. I don't think that's a qualification. Let's take a look at Genesis chapter 1, verses 29 and 30. Now, depending upon your translation, and I'll try to use the NASV. Then God said, Behold, I have given you every green plant yielding seed that is on the surface of all the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed, it shall be food for you. Verse 30, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth which has life, I have given every green plant for food, and it was so. The Bible is quite specific that the animals that lived on the land and people were vegetarians from creation to the flood. And I would reiterate that again. Yes, Brother Eli, you are very wrong about millions and billions of years, because what you believe is that God is not omniscient, he is not omnipotent, he's a liar, he cannot save a remnant, he does not always have a witness, and that death comes before sin. Now, these are 6 things which I indict you with personally for your false teaching on the age of the earth, because this has great theological ramifications for Christianity. You say God is not omnipotent. And you say God is not omniscient. You say he is not smart enough and he is not strong enough to do it right.